This is my review of the BAGSMART Universal Cable and Electronic Organizer. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is the dimensions. I like to get a sense of the real world size of these objects. You can't really tell on Amazon. And so the length of this is about 9 inches in length. And the width is about 7 inches in width. There it is, 7 inches, and the thickness is about 3/4 of an inch or an inch, depending on how full the pack is. And just to give you a better idea of how big it is, I'm going to compare it to a book that's approximately the size of the organizer, and it's about the same thickness as the organizer as well when it's empty. So you can see there it's not really thick. It's a good size to carry around in your backpack. It's a good size for electronics, and when we open it up, we'll see that it holds quite a bit of electronics. Now let's talk about the build quality of the BAGSMART cable organizer. It has very good build quality. It feels very strong. It feels very sturdy. This material here on the outside, it's like a school bag material, but very strong, very sturdy. The zippers here are very nice. When there's no pull on the zippers, when you close everything up, it feels strong, like everything's going to be contained very well inside. When you open it back up, on both sides, both zippers work very well. There's good traction on it. There's no pull on it. It's really well done. The inside as well, there's very good material inside. All the pockets, everything. It's just a very sturdy, well built pack. Now let's look at the inside of the organizer. It has these elastic loops here on either side of the organizer. It has these mesh pockets, different sizes. It has small ones. It has these zipper mesh pockets on either side as well. It has a bigger mesh pocket there. There's some bigger elastic loops. There's another zippered mesh pocket. And finally, it has these small pockets there for SD cards, for flash drives, for any small thing that you want to hold in there. So it has a lot of space, a lot of pockets for a lot of different things that you may want to put inside. Now let's fill up the pack to see how everything looks inside, and to see how snug everything is after everything is inside. So I carry around a lot of batteries because I have a lot of small electronic devices that require batteries, and I hate when things don't work and you're stuck. So I make sure I carry a lot of batteries. I have mostly rechargeables, but I had some of these non-rechargeables lying around, so I make sure I use those up first. So those go in the small mesh pockets, and then I have a USB-C flash drive and an SD card here that I put in the smaller pockets there at the top. I also have a microfiber carrying cloth. I forget what I usually carry in there, but it's microfiber. And I have an Ethernet to USB adapter that I use a lot, since my primary computer is a 15-inch laptop that doesn't have a Ethernet port. I usually carry a portable mouse in that pocket, although you can put a phone in there. Just be warned, not all phones can fit in there. That's a 5.8-inch Moto G5S, so remember that's anything bigger than, I think, an iPhone 5S won't fit in there, so I just put my mouse in there. And finally, I put a bigger microfiber cloth just so everything is nice and even, since the mouse pushes everything up. When everything is in there, the thickness isn't too bad. It doesn't feel like it's going to tear or anything, and even if it's you fill every pocket, I don't think it's going to get much thicker than that. And everything is nice and snug. Everything is well connected in there. There's more space, more pockets, so you can put a lot more stuff in there. Now let's talk about a couple of flaws that I found with this pack. First of all, a small flash drive fits very, very tight in that small pocket. So if you try to pull it fast, usually just the top comes off. So you kind of have to pull on the flap there and then take it out very slowly. SD cards come out fine, but those small flash drives, like that USB-C flash drive there, they take a little more effort to come out. The small mesh pockets as well can be a little loose, so everything has to fit very snug in there so it doesn't shuffle around when you have it in your backpack. The batteries I have there are pretty snug, so they don't move around as a lot, but right at the end there, those aren't too snug, so they do tend to move around. The loops also, things should fit very snug for them not to move around. Like if I put the battery in there, it's just going to move around, so I just keep it in the mesh pocket. All the loops are pretty much the same, just make sure that everything fits really snug. There's also an issue of if you put the loop there with the mesh pocket, they kind of overlap each other, so you just have to be careful with that. Now those two flaws are very, very minor. This is an excellent organizer for your electronics. Very good loops, very good mesh pockets. Things fit nice and snug inside. Zippers close very well. Very good build quality. Everything about this pack is excellent if you want to keep your cables nice and organized, if you want to keep them nice and snug in your backpack or wherever you travel for any kind of profession. So I give this 4.5 out of 5 stars for very, very minor things, and I recommend it to anyone who wants to keep themselves organized.